Hello and welcome to DappRadar, your most trusted source for Dapp data. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at the project called Hashmasks. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to our rankings overview page, and then we're going to select, as a category, we're going to select collectibles because it is a collectibles art project, and it's running on the Ethereum blockchain. But we can see here straight in at number 1. So this rankings list is obviously ranking all the collectible projects over various different blockchains. So DappRadar covers 17 blockchains at the moment, and the default option is that it is ranked by the number of users, effectively number of unique wallets in the past 24 hours. So we can see here that in the past 24 hours, Hashmasks has had 1,700 active wallets, and its volume. So how much value has gone through its smart contracts is $4.63 million. So we can see that's much bigger than anything else. A lot of these are showing kind of zero at the moment. Okay, so let's go and click on Hashmasks and get a better view, specifically what's going on there. So it is a digital art collectible, kind of a collection. We'll go and have a look at the website in a minute, obviously, but we can get a quick view here. So we can see here over the last week, we've got almost 3,000 active wallets. Number of transactions here, 13,000. Volume is actually 10 million over the last week. And then actually we can kind of see here, if we look at all time, it's actually only been around since the 8th of Jan. So we can kind of see how it's grown over time. So obviously this is a collectible kind of Dapp that's really caught the imagination. So let's go and check it out and see why people are so interested in Hashmask. So here we go. This is the website, or we can think of it as an interface to the blockchain. So what's going on here? So Hashmasks are these. We'll have a look down here. This is what some of them look like. They are these basically NFTs. They run on the Ethereum blockchain, non-fungible tokens, was what NFT stands for. So basically bits of artwork that people can own, and they all have been created by different artists, obviously using the basic same kind of template of a head and a body and a background. One of the interesting things here is that each NFT is hosted on the IPFS kind of network, which is linked to Ethereum. So the whole art project is linked on the blockchain. So the whole NFT is not just you're not owning a number like CryptoKitties, and the artwork is kind of held centrally. The whole thing of this is on the blockchain. And there's some interesting kind of game theory that's going on here as well. Okay, so there are only ever going to be 16,384 of these Hashmasks. So you can see at the moment they are there's 313 left. It says at this price. So how have they been selling? So the first 3,000 you could buy at 0.1 ETH, so roughly $120. Then the next 4,000 were at 0.3 ETH, so obviously tripled in price, more like $400. Then the next 4,000 were at 0.5 ETH, so it's about $600. So we can see what's going on. It's a price accumulation. So obviously, if you got in here early, then you've done pretty well, because you're buying them much cheaper than anyone else. And what's interesting is at the moment when you buy them, if you buy one, so at the moment it's 1.7 ETH. You don't know what you get at the moment. So they are you're going to get a randomized selection from the 16,384 that are there. So you're not going, oh, I like that tiger face one, I'll buy that one. You're just buying and getting a random one. There's a bit more blockchain stuff as well. Okay, so when you buy one of these artworks and hold it in your Ethereum wallet, you are accumulating this token. So this is the NCT token. So the longer you hold this NFT, the more of this token you accumulate, and this allows you to choose the name. So obviously, if you own this one, you could call it whatever you want. You call it Tiger Face, or you could call it whatever. So there's an interesting kind of extra thing going on here where you're naming this, and obviously that name is also saved on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's what that token is there for, to allow you to kind of permanently name that item. But there's still more. There is still more. So one of the interesting things here is we can see the prices going up, and the last 3 of these NFTs are going to be 100 ETH. So that's currently obviously over $100,000, $120,000. So that'll be interesting to see how quickly those sell out, or indeed if they sell out. So this is just kind of going through some of the stuff. We don't need to really look at that. But the one interesting thing to look at is this NCT token in a bit more detail. So no name can be identical. So there's an interesting thing here that obviously some people will be kind of thinking around what will be the cool name for an artwork, and only you can't call two things the same. So that's interesting. Limit at 25. Obviously there'll be people doing some interesting stuff with spaces and symbols and thinking about how they're going to name it. Now there's this token. So this token is generated by holding each hash mask. Okay, so if you held one of these for a year, you get 3,660 of these tokens, and you need 1,830 of these tokens to change the name. But if you got in there early, you get a bonus of the 1,830 tokens that you need to rename them. And after 10 years, there's not going to be any more of these tokens. So there's a limited. So you own the artwork, which you may want to sell, or you may want to trade. You may not want it, or you may want to keep it. But obviously there's a secondary sale. So people who buy these can sell them on a marketplace. And someone might buy the artwork and not like the name. So that if they don't like the name and want to rename it, they're going to have to buy some of these tokens or get some of these tokens in order to rename it. But after a certain period of time, basically these names will be locked, because there won't be any more of the tokens, and the tokens will obviously be used up. Every time you rename something, you use up the tokens. So then it's kind of interesting that as the art project, it may not be 10 years, but after 10 years, there's no more tokens created. So obviously people could still have tokens in their wallet. But after a certain period of time, the artwork will be complete when it has been named. So we have this interesting kind of game theory going on where people have been buying these random artworks. They don't know what they've got until the kind of the sale is complete and they are all revealed. And then you have this naming mechanic going on as well, where people are going to be naming and maybe buying tokens to rename because they don't like it, or so it's quite an interesting sort of thing going on here. And this is why the project has really kind of just blown up over the last kind of few days. Partly because if you got in first, you got the cheap ones. So obviously that encourages people to not hang around and see what happens. People who've got kind of money to spare might go, I'll just go and buy some of these now. And then over time, it's interesting as the game theory kind of works out that you're going to have to encourage more people to buy at a higher price. Otherwise, the whole thing doesn't work. And then you've got this whole kind of naming theory as well. As I say, no one knows what hash mask they're buying. There's this reveal phase. That's kind of interesting. Obviously, again, there is although there is the kind of the artwork itself, there's also a number. So you kind of have this idea of, obviously kind of people like to price things around kind of numbers. So that's kind of another interesting sort of thing going on here. You can read through this NFT yourself. So this is a nice one. If you wanted to, if someone else has already named the hash mask the name you want, then the only way you can do it is to go and buy the named one you want, and then change the name to something else. So there's some kind of weird stuff here going on here. So it's very very blockchainy, and very kind of interesting from a game theory. Whether people like it as artwork, I guess that's in the eye of the beholder. So anyway, so this is interesting. I guess this is the kind of stuff more broadly in the collectible realm that it's very hard. I guess you could kind of do it without using a blockchain, but it'd be very hard to get that to work and to coordinate it, and it wouldn't be so viral. And so there is something very kind of interesting and new about how these things are going to work. So yeah, there we go. So that's what's interesting today. Worth kind of highlighting these dApps that kind of suddenly balloon with interest and are doing something different. Obviously not suggesting people get involved now with Hashmasks, because these things have become very, very expensive. But it is an interesting project, and I'm sure lots of other projects will be kind of using similar sort of ideas to kind of like go viral and create an interesting community around these products. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. This is DappRadar, and we spend our time really looking at what's going on in the world of dApps. We think there's something very interesting and new happening here. So we hope these videos are interesting and informative. If they are, please subscribe to the channel. We're pretty active at putting out new videos, so hopefully that's good. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.